Hi everyone, it's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So if you are joining me and this is one of your first times, welcome. I'm so glad that you have found me. If you're on my YouTube channel, make sure that you do subscribe, hit that bell, and you get notified immediately. And also like my page or be a member of my group, and you'll get notified when I do go live. So today is my How Did They Do That? Technique Tuesday class. And I really enjoy doing this class because what it basically does is it gets me thinking back to something that we had done. It also gets me showing you different techniques that maybe if you've been a long time stamper, basically it might be as a technique that you have learned, but you forgot all about it. And then the other part would be where if you're a new stamper, basically I might be showing you something. Now, this one's a little bit, it's not right at the very beginning of techniques and that sort of stuff, but I think it's going to be a very, very useful technique for you, especially when you run into certain things that you don't like the way that a stamp looks. So we are doing the mirror technique, but I'm going to show you how to do I'm going to show you how to do the mirror technique with dies. Now, the same technique applies if you're not going to do it with dies, but just because so many of our images get cut out, and this way it shows you a really cool way of doing it. So like I say, it's mirror technique with dies, but it can be used, and I will show you quickly at the very end how I can use it without the dies. So now if you want to make a stamp set go in the opposite direction, and I'll show you which ones we're using today. We're doing the Santa's delivery. Now, all of these images go this way. Now, that's great, but if you want this image to go the other way, like a train to go the other way, basically, this technique is going to work for you. And I'm going to show you an example of that. I had done this card for a class, and I haven't posted it anywhere. But see how the train goes like this? If I want everything to be reversed and the train go there and then the two cars go there, this technique is going to work. And I really wish I had done that for this class. However, because this was for a huge workshop class, I didn't feel it was right to tell them about a technique that possibly they don't even know about. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to do a very simple card because that's the way that I always do it. But I'm going to show you how to do it with dies. Okay, so I have the Santa's Delivery suite, and I'm going to use this particular one there. I might use one of the sentiments, and then we're going to go ahead, and I've got a couple of these dies cut out, but I'm going to need, well, I'll bring that out when I need it. Okay, so the key with this particular technique is your stamparatus is going to be awesome. So your stamparatus is your best friend doing this particular technique. So all the step-by-step instructions are on there, and then there's a variation on there as well. When I post this, and this will be posted tomorrow at 9:05 Pacific time, what you can do is you can print this off. It'll only be in my group, so you may want to catch the video down in my group if you are watching me through YouTube. And that's there's links below that. There's also links if you're in a different one of my groups or if you're on my page. This is going to be printed off as a PDF. I'm going to put a sample, but because of this one, I want to show you the way that both the stamps go. So that'll be kind of like an insert on this particular one. What I want you to do is put your sample on here so that you can remember how to do it. And then on this part here, I just will put the simple measurements for my card that I did, and then the stamp sets that I've used on there. All right, stamparatus, one of your best tools that you can get, and especially for this technique. All right, so this is a photopolymer stamp set. Just going to put this underneath here. So I have it mounted. And basically, I also have a mat underneath here. This is one of the older mats. And then I've got my grid sheet, but I can see through my grid sheet here. And this is a silicone mat. Again, Stamparatus and also your silicone mat are going to be your best friends. So I'm going to show you how to do a template with it. Now, this is just a piece of basic white. And I'm just going to put that on there. Now, people have asked me what these are. This is a piece of duct tape. Duct tape doesn't rip like, say, if you use washi tape or a masking tape. The duct tape works really well. And I've got this where it's going to come in the middle there. I've got this right up in the corner. And this is how I make templates all the time when I go to do it. So I would probably go and put top right on there. So I'm just going to ink that up, and because I'm going to do some coloring with it, I want to use my Memento. Boy, that's a dirty. So I'm just going to go and let's stamp that up. I'm going to come in with our Chucky. Now remember, if you're wondering about this Chucky, I do have a video. It's called The Most Amazing Tool Chucky, and it's CHUCKIE. And all you have to do is go to my YouTube channel and you can search it. And I've got a video on how to make your own. So I've got it just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to take my die, this die here, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cut that out. Now, I've already gone ahead and done that, so that you don't have to watch me go through the shaking and the moving and everything else. So here's my template. And I didn't mark it with the top right, but it will work just like that. It's right up in the corner. Silicone mat, nice clean silicone mat. Now, the other part that you have to do, I'm going to have to bring in some of my card pieces. Let's see. I have gone ahead, and this is the beauty of this. I've gone ahead and I have just cut a basic white because we know that we're going to be using stamping blends, right? So we have to prep this. So I've gone ahead, I've cut it out. Now what I want to do, you know, when you have a die cut, it feels like there's edges there on there. What you want to do is you want to come in with your bone folder and you want to smooth that out, because technically on this wrong side is now going to be your right side when we finish doing this technique. You just want to make sure that we've got that good and flat, and you can feel that. Let's just go around here some more. All right, so you can cut as many of these out if you want to go ahead and do them. With that particular card that I showed you, I would do the same for these cards. I would have to do the same for some of these images because, especially this one, we'd want it going the opposite way, or maybe we'd be okay with that. But anyways, okay, so this is the magic. So I'm just going to come back in with my Memento, get it good and inked. Going to come in like this. I'm going to use my Chucky. And you see, I am now stamping onto the silicone mat. And just because I'm going to stamp it once more. Okay, and let's go ahead and stamp that. Now, this is not a StazOn ink. This is a Memento ink, which means that it's a water base. If you StazOn, it is going to stay onto your silicone mat, and you may not be happy with that result. Okay, we prepped our piece. It's like this. Now, what we want to do is be very careful with the way we put this in. We don't want to have it lifted up and down. I'm just going in, putting it in there, going back in, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rub this. I didn't re-ink it because I didn't need to. Okay, I think I'll just give it a bit more of a rub. And then I'm just going to lift this off. Now, this is the way that it normally would go. But watch. Voila. Is that not fun? And now it looks like it's the right side of the die. And now we have it going the opposite direction. So instead of the train going like so, we now have the train going this way. Now, would that not have been better on this particular card, having it going the opposite way? It really, really would have. All right. So then what we can do is we can come in and we can do our markers. Now, I have honestly gone ahead and already colored this. But let me go and show you. I used unorthodox colors on this particular train. So I've used, my gray that I really like right now is my light and dark gray granite. I am using light and dark Poppy Parade. And basically I did the Poppy Parade on Santa. And the dark is on there. I also went and I thought, well, I'm using, now this is the designer series paper that goes along with the Santa Express or the Santa delivery. And I'm using this designer series paper. Now this designer series paper is Poppy Parade and it has petal pink. So that is why I used petal pink. And what I did was I used petal pink on this part here. And I'm just going to quickly show you what I did. And then I came in and I used my light Calypso Coral. And that was a dark. And all that does is that is just giving me a bit of blending on here. And just giving me a different color. Now I've also gone ahead and I also put that petal pink on here. I know it looks really kind of different, but excuse me, I think it's kind of a fun looking train, and it does go with that designer series paper. Then I used a mixture of the light and dark gray granite. So I put the light gray granite here, and then I also did the light here, and then I used the dark on some of the accent pieces there. And then I also used the dark on the wheels as well. And on the smokestack. And then the lighter gray granite. I'm not going to go ahead and color the whole thing because I've already got it colored. And then the other part that I did that I wanted to show you is on Santa's beard, one thing to do is just go and put some, like, because it's a curly beard, right? And then I went with my color lifter and then I went in and I blended that in. I wanted to have the shadows in there, but I didn't want those lines to really show. Okay, so that's kind of how I did it. And then this is what the Santa looks like. You can see I've kind of got that there. Now, the other thing that I did do that I didn't explain on this particular one is I always like using my light pool party. And we're just going to get that going in a bit in the background there. Just like that. And that is on there. Okay, so we have that already colored. All right, so let's go ahead and put our card together. Now, like I say, I always try to go and say, okay, we have this light pool part, or this petal pink and the red. This whole suite has that color together. You see there? So that's why I went with these colors. So this is gray granite. It is 4 1/4 by 5 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. So we're going to do it like a tent card. Let me bring in my rest of my colors here. Now I wanted to go ahead with the same petal pink, and this is that whimsical woodland embossing folder, and it can be found, let me show you, it can be found on page 39. And it's right down this whimsical woodland. It's right down here. They don't really show it off that much, and that's a shame because it works great. Or you could use the charming landscapes, but I really like this. I want the whole piece done. Those are for the minis, so that's the reason why. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to put that onto there. Now I could use the deboss side or the emboss side. So we'll just put that on with glue. Yes. Marilyn, do go back to the beginning. And plus also, I will show you at the end of this how to do it just without the die. But getting a template really, really helps you. All right. So this is really cool paper, but I like this red on the other side. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I think I'll put that there. This is going to go on the inside. Now, what was I going to do? Oh, I know. I was going to come in and I had cut this square. This square is from the Stylish Shapes. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it go there. I'm not putting any ribbon on this. Just this piece, I don't even know what size. It was a scrap piece of paper that I found in my pack, 3 inches by 4 3/4. And that's just going to go right in the middle, but down there. Okay, now this piece, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop 2 of them up. Let's just go. Of course, we don't want it dipping down in the center. So let's just go ahead and now, do I want to go off to the side? Maybe just a bit, just to give a bit of just about there. And of course, like I say, this train is going the opposite direction. So let's go ahead and let's pop that up. Now, the one thing that's really kind of different about this is, oh, hello. Okay, your blends do bleed through. So if you ever did decide, oh, I want the train actually going that way, not this way, you could go ahead and color as long as you're very careful. I will warn you that the reds tend to bleed through. So if you want to color tiny bit within and let it sort of spread a little bit. All right, like I say, weird colored train, but you know what? This whole suite is kind of whimsical. It's not normal, so you can get away with anything. And like I say, those colors are in the designer series paper, so that's why I use these colors. Oh, and before I do this, I want, and I do have, oh, where did I put it? It was right here. Well, I could always cut out another one. Oh, here it is. I have the train tracks, and I want to put the train tracks kind of there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these. You know what? I can put the train tracks just right on the edge there. So we're just going to round that off. That's there. And let's just round this part off a little bit as well, because you want it to kind of go with the rest of it. Right. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to come in and glue parts of that. Now this is gray granite. Just like that. Don't want to play too much with that. Now, I thought this is a scrap piece of gray granite. Now, I do have the smokestacks for the the train. Let's go ahead and just put that there. But then I thought, why don't I try, and I'm going to stamp with my memento. I'm going to stamp those words that are in that stamp set. The ho, 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 and let's have that kind of be like the smokestack. So we'll see how that works. If it doesn't, I have the smokestack ones already cut out. So this is on my gray granite. I'm not cutting out every individual ho, ho, ho. But I am going to go. It's too bad there wasn't a die that went with this. I'm pretty sure there isn't. Or is there? No, this one is for the little penguins. So I'm just going to fussy cut that. See how this looks. Let me just cut that out. And always remember, you're going to move the paper. You don't move your scissors when you're fussy cutting. And you'll find that you really enjoy it. Okay, I'm just seeing if there's any. Ontario, wow, this must be almost, well, this is after dinner time, I guess, eh? Just before our dinner time here. Okay, let's see how that looks. That'll look okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to put a dimensional, a mini dimensional, because I want it to be the same height, right? So I'm going to put the dimensional up here. Again, double check. I want it to go there because that's going to give me the same height right down there. And then I'm going to put glue right on this part here. Okay. There we go. That's funny. Okay. Now, what I think we can do is we can use some embellishments, and I'm going to mix up the embellishments again because I think this will work. Because these are the embellishments from the gnomes, and I'm going to go ahead and put these. I know that's pale papaya, but I think we'll get away with it. Or what we could do is just to give it a bit more of that pinky look. Oh, you know what? That doesn't even really matter. Okay. Let's bring in our Take Your Pick tool. And then another one down here as well. There we go, just like that. All right, then we have this piece here. So I think what we could do on the inside is we could just put a sentiment. And I'm going to use probably pool party is what I'm thinking. I might be sorry once I stamp it. I mean, poppy parade, because reds always seem to smear. So let's see. Alpha approved and sleigh delivered. No, special delivery just for you. I think that'll be a cute one. All right. So let's go there. And I'll come in with a block. Of course, we just want to lightly tap it. Now, I probably should have put that on a paper piercing mat. There we go. It does look great, doesn't it? Now, if I wanted to, I could put something else in here. Like I could put the little penguin in there. He's a lot of fun, but I think I'm going to leave it that way for now. I don't know. Well, I don't think this is going to go for a grandson, but it could definitely go for a granddaughter. Let's just put that on the inside. But like I say, if I wanted to, I could. If I was going to do that, I definitely would color it before I put it on the inside because we don't want it bleeding. You notice this paper has the 1/4 inch around. I like my 3 3/4 by 5 inch inside. So there's that. And then what I want to show is I'm going to come back in with my Stamparatus. And I'm going to show you the other way of doing this without using a die cut. All right, so I'm just going to take this off. And I probably should have cleaned that while it was still and let it dry. So you know what? I'm going to come in with a very, very dry. And let's put that right up into the corner. And like I say, you can now get the reverse side by just, I don't know where this is going to go. I'm going to have to check it. Okay, this has it's a right and a wrong side. So let's see, is that, no. There. Just a little bit over. Let's see. It's not too bad. All right. And you know what? That part doesn't really matter at this point. Well, it does. Okay, so let me just bring this back in. I'm going to see if by putting it right here, if that's going to be in the right spot. No. About there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with a marker, and I want to mark it where it's going to go. And there. Okay. So this is without the die cuts. So I'm going to come in with my memento again. All right. So we're just inking that up. I'm going to come in. I want to use my Chucky. We're going to come in again. Now, I did ink this up pretty good. Let's go ahead and let's ink that up. Let's get rid of this stuff. Okay, now you have to be very, very careful. And now what I'm going to do is we do not want this moving around. So this is going to go right there. I'm putting it straight down. I'm going to use, and it could be a little crooked. And now we are going to go like this. And I'm pretty sure that should be okay. And then I'm going to come in and I'm lifting this up very carefully. And there's my image done the opposite way. Now, just to give you a rough idea, it's really lots and lots of fun to do this without the die technique. If you've got animals, I was going to show it with the piggy. Be really cute having the two pigs together face to face. And it says, that would be a lot of fun. If you wanted the crane to go the other way, you wanted it face, or you want the heron, you could have it going that way as well. This would be another good stamp if you want the bear going the opposite way. So it just shows you that would really work. Now I'm going to bring this card back in and see, with this, like this, I've got the train going that way. And honestly, I really think that it would have been a lot better having the train go that way and those ones go the opposite way. To me, that made more sense than it going this way. You'd have to drive your train left-handed. Anyways, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. So like I say, tomorrow at 9:05 Pacific time, I will have this on with a sample of this card, plus also the one going the opposite way. So it'll be the train going this way so that you can see the two of them different. Another thing is like I say, this is going to go like that. One of the best compliments that you can give me is give me the thumbs up, share my video, share people, invite people to the group. I have to approve them, but that's no biggie. I will approve anybody. I do appreciate you saying where you're from, but that's okay if you don't. That's all good. So what's happening tomorrow? Tomorrow we have the mystery challenge at 3:00 tomorrow. So at noon, I give you, oh, thank you. At noon, what I do is I give you 3 clues. It'll be something that you can use from your clues that you can that you'll be able to use something from your craft room. But anyways, I really look forward to that when I enjoy doing that. But I hope you enjoyed this mirror technique. Like I say, I showed you with dies, I showed you without dies, right? So it's almost like a twofer. You almost got a twofer today, but just because I really wanted you to see that you can do it with dies. So many people think you can only do it with straight, like just what I did here, that you could do it only this way, but you can do it with your dies. And I showed you how easy it really was. I'd love to see your work. Like I say, I really do appreciate it. So have a great evening, and we will talk to you tomorrow at 3:00 Pacific time. Bye for now.